never.
I know you.
Okay. Welcome to a new episode of the Wet Palate Podcast. Here's the thing. There's absolutely zero chance you have not heard me rave about Jônt, or Maass, or Bresca, or my new obsession, Ômo. It is because of that today I bring you the one and only Chef Ryan Ratino.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. He has not had his coffee yet.
I know, right? It's too early. No,
It's too early, and he's already saying, it is noon, so you're right. I was
Is
like,
it?
morning.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
That's good.
Okay. You finally made it back to Florida. How has Florida been treating you?
Yeah, it was good. A little bit bumpy this trip. Coming up through the outer bands of the hurricane, we had a real bumpy ride, but no, it was good. And then the Brightline treated us well, so they made up for it. I love the Brightline.
The Brightline, you took it from
Orlando. Yeah,
Oh,
we had a
that's
collab
right.
in
That's right.
Orlando. The day before yesterday. So
Saw that.
yeah, we had a lot of fun with Henry from Kabuki.
Yeah.
And then we hit the Brightline the next morning and made our way down. And I missed my train. They made it all better.
Okay.
We're here.
Is Jackson not there anywhere?
Jackson just left actually. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I'm looking at the picture and I'm like, oh, here we go again. I'm like, none
no,
of the change.
we have Mike. I mean, Mike's still
Okay.
there. The head chef is still there. So he's been with me for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mike's still there, and
Okay.
then we have a guy Sam. He's going to become one of our new sous chefs. He's from Norway and Hong Kong, maybe a 2-star. So the team there is super solid. Super solid.
I trust.
Yeah.
Whatever you decide or whatever was decided.
No, they're good. They're a great team up there. And like I said, Mike's been with me for 10 years, so that crew is just solid, dialed in. And then coming into season, I'm going to spend a decent amount of time here in Florida. So you'll see me at Ômo and Maass a lot.
Okay, good. Yeah, I know season's about to start.
Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning. You grew up in Ohio? Were you born there too?
Yeah, I'm born and raised just outside of Cleveland.
Okay. Chef Ryan Ratino attended Orlando's Le Cordon Bleu in 2009 and then launched his culinary career as a junior sous chef at Shula's Steakhouse, Walt Disney World, and spent 3 years working under Todd English at Blue Zoo. Is Cordon Bleu the first thing that brought you to Florida, or had you visited before?
Yeah, spring break brought me to Florida.
And the truth?
Yeah, spring break brought me to Florida. Le Cordon Bleu is the reason I moved to Florida.
Okay.
You know?
So when you did spring break in Florida, did you do Daytona, Fort Lauderdale, or Miami?
We did South Florida, so we came down Fort Lauderdale, and then also hit the West Coast as well to calm down. Then made our way back to Central Florida. I always loved Orlando for some reason, from Ohio. Just go down there, hang out, have fun. I had some friends in the area, so we would go down there and have fun. And then culinary school happened to be there, so it was an easy transition for me.
You're like, yeah, I'll be able to concentrate, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I was trying to decipher how spring break you got.
Yeah,
depending on where you said
I almost didn't make it through culinary school for my attendance. That's how.
It's kind of what happens to people when they bring their talents to South Beach.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And then all the players that have never had any problems get arrested.
Yeah.
They get caught cheating.
Yeah, I wasn't that guy, But no, it's crazy coming to Florida. You look in the mirror, you're like, who's that guy, Yeah, South Florida especially. That's why we're nice here. We stay and live in our hotel.
Yes.
So restaurant in the hotel, stay in the hotel. Don't go out very much, and it keeps us in order.
Yeah, and Broward is not as dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Broward's, we'll talk about that. Did you ever meet Don Shula?
Never
Never.
met Don Shula. No. Yeah.
What a missed opportunity.
I know, right? Yeah.
So he wasn't very involved in that.
No, exactly. By the time I don't know when he when he passed away, but by the time I was at Shula's, I feel like is he still alive? You can take
I actually
that
don't
out.
know.
I thought he was passed away. Yeah.
I'll take it out.
Google that. Yeah. Is Don Shula still alive, Holly? There's no way.
No, he passed away?
He's gone.
Yeah?
I think so, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Your face when I said that.
No
You're
way.
like, what?
No, but I think he was pretty old when I was in there.
I know.
Yeah, so I think,
Right.
yeah, exactly. Right, I'm just killing this guy when he's still alive. Maybe a problem.
I mean, yeah. Maybe
That's
I'm thinking
fine.
like Jimmy Johnson. Anyway. Okay, let's get serious. What was the most important lesson you learned while at culinary school?
Yeah, I think.
While at Cleveland.
Yeah, right. I think cooking school, nowadays, right, I have a nephew that's dabbled in our kitchens during high school summer break and things of that nature. And I think what culinary school does for you is teaches you a small foundation, but that's not always realistic, right? And like I tell him all the time, like if you actually want to cook, what you're gonna do is come work for us consistently, and then maybe like 2 years in, if it's something you want to still do and you want to like have a degree and go to culinary school and like learn the economics of it, we'll send you to a nice school and you'll learn that. But you know, personally for me, I think cooking school taught you the foundations, right? Like it taught you how to like maybe respect an ingredient or take care of stock work and things of that nature. But I think real life teaches you like how to cook, right? Like how to be in the kitchen, how to move, how to organize, how to be detailed. You find who you wanna like focus on, like what area of food you want to focus on, and then you go. So like cooking school for me was just like like I said, I mean I almost didn't make it out of cooking school. So like the foundation, it's a small foundation, you know, that I you know find to be like not completely necessary. And if I could have saved $60,000 and worked for like Thomas Keller at the time, I would have, you know. But like it's definitely like I think it's in here. Like it's what you need as an individual, right? Like I have chefs on my team that are like, I wouldn't trade cooking school for a thing. I hate when you say that, and I'm like, yeah, that's you. I'm the opposite, you know. Like I'm a hands-on learner. I'm not like I read books. They're all pertinent to cooking or like small business or like economics, you know, but not so much like you know, find as much value in myself in those things as others do. But like that's where I think as an individual, it's kind of like it's personal, right? Like if you need that foundation for school, it's great, it's amazing for you, you know. But I'm a hands-on, like show me, let me do it, let me fuck it up once or twice, and then I'm gonna dial it in.
And you've told me stories before when we've been chatting about you'll have someone stage and then you know they think they're like all that or whatever. They come from like a culinary school,
yeah.
But then you have them stage here and they're like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, kids like and young guys nowadays, like you can find that, you know, like or young guys and girls, you know, it's like school is great, you know, but just because that's how you do it in school doesn't mean that's how we're going to do it here, you know. And I think that's the difference. You know, you have to understand that, you know, cooking is super subjective, right? Like people refer to it as art, whatever you want to, but it's really subjective. Like how you make veal stock here is not how you make veal stock there. How we cure fish is not the same. How we get to the final product, though we're all hopefully seeking the same excellence, isn't going to be the same in all the kitchens. And I think like that's what young cooks need to understand. You know?
At what point did you make it back to DC? Or back to Ohio? At what point does DC come in the picture?
Yeah, so DC is chance, right? Like DC for me, I was in Florida. I was Shula's small time, and then I had some really good mentors in that hotel at Jônt and Ômo that they're still in Florida. One's here in the Hard Rock, Robert Siborowski. He was our hotel chef, and he wanted me to go down to Blue Zoo because he saw I had a passion for like a different style of cooking than the steakhouse, and I spent some time down there and like learning from him, and as he ran the hotel, that was like the baby. All the toys were there, all the nice dinners we did came from there. So it was a good tool for me at 20 years old, 19 years old to like be in and work with a gastrovac for the first time and work with all these like different pieces of machinery and try new techniques. But from here, like most cooks, I wanted to go work in New York. You know, like so like when I left, I was a head chef of Blue Zoo at the Swan and Dolphin, and then I left to go be a sous chef at Caviar Russe. I was there and working for Chris. Chris was like my head chef and a guy that I had mutual friends that wanted us to work. Or like they were like, you should go work for this guy. He's gonna like teach you. He worked for Ducasse for many years. I've always like had a huge respect for Mr. Ducasse and how they cook in Europe. And so going there like taught me a lot. But then I was recruited to go to DC out of there. So then that's kind of like how I made it down to DC. It wasn't like it just happened, you know. And then as I spent some time working through Washington, my partners used to eat at the restaurants I was cooking at, and they had a nightclub that they wanted to close. So we took it over floor by floor, and that's how Bresca took the first floor, Jônt took the second floor, and we continued from there.
Which was, again, this always happens to me, my next question. Let's discuss opening Bresca and going on your own for the first time, like taking that leap.
Yeah, I think I was cooking in DC. My partners used to eat there. We had a mutual friend. She introduced us, and we kind of just got rolling, like instant connection, like in the best way of trust with my partners, and they still are my partners. And you know, you hear a lot of horror stories in this business, and like I am so blessed to like have the complete opposite of that. Like I have the best partners that actually care about us as humans and want to see like us grow a business and build stronger partnerships with our team and bring on more chefs as partners in order to like help. You know, a lot of us are talented but never make any money, and they're there to like see us through, like, you know, actually being successful in our personal lives and financially successful. So opening Bresca, I was 26 when we like started construction on Bresca, and nervous, anxious, all the things, you know, like not
so young.
Yeah, they were amazing, but like we didn't have like a ton of people trying to throw money at us, right? When you're that young opening a restaurant, a lot of people were like, what are you gonna do, you know? And we were pretty bold, like, and I'm not scared, like I'm confident in our team, like I'm confident in our abilities, like we're very humble, but we are confident in our cooking ability. And the teams were like, you know, you're getting interviewed. Oh, thank you. You're getting interviewed, and they're like,
You're getting coffee, people.
Yeah.
Things might speed up a little bit.
we're getting like interviewed, and like, what do you want? I'm like, oh, we're gonna earn a Michelin star. You know, like I didn't say like right away, you know,
Right.
but we wanted it, you know. And our goal is always to make people happy, right? Like we want to, like, our hospitality is our focus. Like, and the more we mature as like restaurateurs and owners and chefs, like we understand that, you know, like we want to make people feel really good, but you know, cooking gets you so far, and like I'm learning that as I used to think like, oh, if I cook great food, people are going to come, you know, and they will, but to an extent, right? And then I think hospitality is where we really thrive too. And at that point though, we were just starting. We would like, I would do anything, you know. I would sleep in the restaurant, wake up at 5 a.m, like poached sweetbreads, stuffed chickens. My sous chef team would get there at like 7 a.m. We'd be getting like an ice delivery. Like I'd sleep on the banquettes, like they knew where I was at, like, and they'd come in and like knock close to the window that I was sleeping by to like wake me up, open the front door, and just like utilize the restaurant however I needed to like be successful, you know, because I wasn't gonna fail. I was like, I'm going on an interview saying I'm gonna get a Michelin star. I was definitely like not gonna not do what I wanted to do. So like we did it. We grinded like hard, you know. And that Mike, who's at Ômo now, like was on the opening team of Bresca, and Brendan, who's one of our culinary directors and a partner now, and he was on the opening team, and we just worked, you know. And I think we weren't scared to put in the hours. And then 9 months later, we got a star, like right off the jump. We would have a line out of Bresca, like 60, 75 people. We only sat 60, 55, you know, and like I would like not stop cooking though until the line was done. So like even if we were like closed, you know what I mean? Like we would cook until like 1 o'clock in the morning in the early days of Bresca. Because for me, I'm like,
You want people, I mean,
yeah,
people want it.
yeah, and I wanted like a new kitchen because I used the old nightclub kitchen.
Right.
So like get our first star, I used this old nightclub kitchen. We didn't have an oven with a door on it. So like we held all of our pans in there and we cooked on this equipment. And I'm like, dude, if I want a fucking nice kitchen, like I'm gonna have to make some money, right? So we would like cook for every guest. Like if you were jumped in the line at 1:15, we'd see you. Like it was crazy, and like we would just stay though, and we got it there, you know, and it kept going.
Explain the Bresca concept. What is?
Yeah.
These are
Yeah.
South Florida.
Yeah, like
listeners.
our focus at Bresca was to like build at 26, 27. I wanted to like garner trust from the city, like coming in like new to the city. I hadn't like come through the ranks of like other chefs in DC and then opened my own thing. So I wanted like a bistronomy style where you're like having this really great cooking, really strong ethos in the food, but you're in this chill environment. You're listening to great music. The servers aren't super buttoned up. You can have a lot of fun. You can eat until midnight. Like have all this opportunity to like really have fun with the guests.
Or far. I mean, or more. If they jumped in the line at 1:15, you jumped 3.
We were crazy.
You know?
Like we would like literally like there's guests that would like jump in, like be like, hey, can we squeeze in? We're like, yeah, no problem, and then eat like $600 worth of food at like 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, and you're like, yeah, why would we have told them? If we had told them no, we were out that $600, you know?
Right.
So like in that early stage, like we wanted to be, we have a yes culture regardless. We've never changed that. We're like, you know us, like you come in and you want something, we're gonna say yes. Like people are like, visiting Jônt, they're like, we heard Ben's chili bowl is so cool. I wonder if we'll be able to get there before dinner's over. We go buy Ben's chili bowl for them to make sure that when they leave, they have Ben's chili bowl.
Well, Ryan shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Because foie gras lollipops.
Oh yeah.
I love those
You
things.
want them back? I'll make you some.
Oh my God.
Yeah, those are easy.
And I have this question for later, but since you offered.
Yeah.
The damn duck.
The ducks.
We need the duck back.
The duck's back in Bresca, table side, pressing the duck's table side, making
But
the sauce.
Jônt and here.
So it's back at Bresca.
I'm gonna rewind.
I know, right?
And now he just said it.
We'll make you duck. We'll make you duck. When
A
you
duck.
Come. Yeah, exactly. It'll have a.
Nydia, where's Nydia taking notes?
Right, it'll make a fall appearance here. It'll make a fall appearance
that
here.
goes
Back,
for fall.
yeah,
Okay.
back at Maass. Like Jônt rotates through. Like we're serving the Wolf Ranch quail right now. We're serving like wild red deer right now, like going into the fall season.
Okay.
But Bresca's menu, the tableside duck's making its way back. Maass will bring it back in like the fall here to have some ducks, and with David and here we have a good team to like execute it well. So yeah, it's gonna be making its appearances for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just securing that for
Yeah, exactly.
y'all can thank me later. Did you always know Jônt would be next in that space above? That's where the nightclub was?
Yeah, exactly. So the nightclub used to be on both floors. We consolidated it. It was like a restaurant on the first floor, and then like the ins happened on the second floor, And then like the old DJ booth is now like part of our garbage A station, like we where that was located. But yeah, it was low hanging fruit for us, right? Like my partners, it had run its course. They were like, hey, just let's do something upstairs as well. We waffled, like, Bresca doesn't have private dining. So we were like, should we do private dining? Should we do a cocktail bar? It started out as like a cocktail bar with a tasting menu behind it. And then it turned in like in theory. And then as we like started to cook in there and everything, and then COVID hit. So we were supposed to open like May 5th or something like that of 2020. And then COVID hit. So we couldn't. And then we started rethinking it. We're like, hey, what can we do here to, maximize the space? And then that's when we were like, let's do the 2-room experience, savory and pastry. The cocktail bar wasn't as functional as it needed to be for like Will to be as successful as he wanted to be. And then it's like, now we finally got there 4 years later to his own cocktail bar that opens in 3 weeks. But like, so yeah, that was always the plan though. Like, let's do, when you have you're cooking for 200 seats as a chef, you're like, let me cook for 100. Then at 100, I'm like, let me cook for 50. And then when you got down to 50, which was Bresca, right? You could like age a strip loin for 3 months and it'd be gone in like 2 hours on a Friday night. And you're like, mother F, like, so what's the number you want to cook for? Where you can like geek out on food, do really cool shit, but have more people experience it, right? In Bresca, you're gonna eat a 16-ounce strip loin, so I'll get 10 of those out of a loin of aged beef. So 10 groups get to experience it. That same strip loin now I can sell on 110 people as a slice in the tasting menu, and more people get to experience those things. So Jônt was always the plan. The success of Jônt wasn't like anticipated. You want it to be successful, but you never know it's gonna, like everyone wants 2 and 3. Like now we want 3 stars, of course. Everyone wants like a second star, but you have to do it, until you see it as reality. And then we don't believe our own bullshit. It's one thing we talk about a lot, like I think we're kind of like everyone, I don't know how you say that. I don't want to say it the wrong way, so I'm going to rephrase it. But like when I say we don't believe our own bullshit, it's easy to say we're a 2-star restaurant, but until you walk in every day and there's 2 stars on the plaque on the wall, you're a 1-star restaurant, right? Or you're a no-star restaurant. Like in Ômo right now, like we're a 2-star restaurant, like 100%. But we're a 0-star restaurant, right? Because when you walk in every day, we have 0 stars on the plaque. So it's easy to like tell yourself that, but until you've earned it, you don't like shit, right? And I think like that's kind of our theory. Like we want to be a 3-star restaurant. So like we're not good enough every day until we get 3 stars, right? We're a 2-star restaurant right now. Bresca's a 1-star restaurant. I think like Jônt just keeps cooking as if it has something to prove, right? Like consistently. And I think even once we're 3 stars, then we have a responsibility to continue to uphold it.
That, yeah.
Exactly. So like it'll always cook like it has something to prove.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about. Let's explain the whole Jônt thing.
Yeah.
Like
what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jônt's a European cooking, right, over a wood fire, but we love the seafoods of Japan. So every seafood you eat in the menu is going to be from Japan. 16 seats, tasting menu only. Right now are like 26 bites of total compositions. Like it's hard to like fully define how many courses is it. We're gonna come to you 17, 18 times with different foods. Some of them having 2, 3 drops on them. Some of them having 10 if it's mignardise, you know. But we're like total 26, 27 compositions right now. Savory room where you are at the counter in front of the kitchen watching us plate and cook everything in front of the live fire. Pastry room, complete change, more relaxed, dark room, having sweets, after dinner drinks, whiskeys, cognacs, teas, matcha, coffee, whatever.
Cuban sandwiches.
Cuban sandwiches, yeah, exactly. We do all the things over there and have
All
fun.
the things.
Have fun.
And let's talk about your favorite topic, the playlist.
The playlist, yeah.
The controversial a little
Yeah,
bit.
people beat us up sometimes. It's very clean these days. But we play some good. We play some good '90s hip hop. We play some, you know, like some Wu-Tang, some Biggie, some Tupac. You know, like Snoop Dogg's on there. We have early 2000s Eminem. Like it's a nice blend. You know, some of it's instrumental, some of it's lyrics. You know, but we have a really good time with it. We love to play. When you're in the kitchen, we're in the dining room. We like play some music that we want to listen to. You'll see us when we're cooking, like kind of bopping to it, like cooking over the fire to the beat of the music. It keeps the vibe high though. We don't want to be stuffy. Maybe fun dining, you know, Chef Thomas talks about it a lot these days, of like fine dining's transitioned a ton. So you want to have
It's unexpected to go there and then, you know, Biggie comes on.
exactly.
And some people have had, you know, I guess they didn't know.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
part of the
You know,
thing.
for
Are you
the,
the only one? I don't know of any other place that plays.
I don't know honestly. Like I think some places like
That has
some
a 2
younger
Michelin,
guys-
2 or 3.
Yeah, I don't know
right?
exactly. But it's like we're young.
Just part of
we're
the problem.
We're inspired cooks. Like we want to have fun, you know. And I think like fine dining is transitioning. And if you want to appeal to like a broader crowd, but also a younger crowd, right? Like fine dining isn't just reserved anymore for like 50 plus, right? Like you can eat a really nice meal like at 30 years old. And you don't want to be in the same room maybe that like 25. You do sometimes. Like I love like the regal dining rooms of Europe and London and Paris and all those places, right? Like it's amazing. Like it's so much fun. I love to get suited up and have a really nice meal. But I also love to eat a 2 Michelin star meal and like kind of be chill, have fun, have a good time. You're spending the same amount of money, but you feel more relaxed. You feel like you can be yourself. You can laugh. You can just really enjoy it, you know. And I think like that's our goal, because when you come into a 2-star Michelin restaurant, sometimes you feel a little bit of a certain way, like, oh, this is going to be like really tight. And it's our personality too. Like I'm not super tight. Like I love to have fun. I joke all the time. It's who I am. So the room kind of reflects that fun, you know, rather than being somebody we're not, being super buttoned up and like stiff when we don't live our lives like that. So we're not going to work like that every day. You know, I think you need to have. That's what restaurants are. They're an expression of us as a group, you know, and they should express more than like what you think in our head, like, oh, we could put tablecloths, whatever, you know, but it's just not who we are, so we're not going to do it.
I love it. It was a nice surprise for me. I actually didn't know that was going to be how it was
Yeah.
going to be, and I love
Yeah.
it. By the time this airs,
Yeah.
Jonathan's interview will be out already.
Uh-huh.
Man, did he talk about it? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right, exactly.
For those who don't know, Jonathan Cano is Ryan's Director of Operations and partner for every Hive Hospitality group by day, and Michelin Guide Ninja in between. When did you know Jonathan would be great to pair up with in a business venture, let alone all of them?
Yeah, so for me, like, I've always explored, like, you know, my peers, right? Like, I'm going to go eat at the restaurants of kind of who I think is cooking at a high level, or who I think is cooking inspired food, even if it's casual. I want to taste their flavors. I want to see what's going on. So I used to eat at Minibar like once or twice a year when Jonathan was there, because I thought back in that time frame, like 17, 18, 19, like Minibar was starting to cook at like a 3-star level. They were cooking really, really nice food. So I would eat there, and it was always something that I wanted to do. And Jonathan was there, right, taking care of us and like having a good time. And then when he was in town, he would come to Bresca often and like have dinner with us.
That's what he said. So
Yeah.
your stories pair up.
Yeah, exactly. Like when he was there, he would come in, we'd cook for him, we'd have fun, I'd go out there, we'd talk shop, and I got to know him pretty well. We became friends, and then I like told him about Jônt being on the horizon and how I wanted to work with him there and how I wanted to come over. I always was inspired by what they did at Minibar from the hospitality side, you know? and JC being at the forefront of that. So I'd like invite him over to see the construction, cook him breakfast, like make him like scrambled eggs and Robuchon potatoes and caviar, and we'd eat breakfast and talk shop and what I wanted Jônt to be and how I wanted it to evolve. And eventually he started to like come over more often, and then he was like, all right, it's a good move. Like it was a good plan for him, and I think he had spent like a decent amount of time with Jose, which is, it's hard to pull somebody out of that environment, you know, when they're thriving, and Jose like really invest well in the mini bar and make sure that it's like at the top of its game for DC. And you know, it was always like DC's fine dining, right? And then we came along.
Yep.
Then like he's fun, you know, like we just had him in the restaurant and he was joking. He was like, if anyone gets 3 stars before mini bar, it should be them because they deserve it. It was fun, you know. So he's a good dude, and but Jonathan coming over was huge for us, you know, and he set the tone for like what we were going to be on the dining room side from the beginning. And then just as we grew and as the restaurant took off, he ran with it the same way we ran with the cooking. And that restaurant in 4 years has evolved so rapidly. Like I feel because we opened in COVID, we started so modestly in my head and for where we wanted to be, even though we went straight to 2 stars, it was like, okay, if we got to 2 like this, I have zero doubts, no matter, I don't know when it will be, but we will be a 3-star restaurant, you know, because we've just evolved so much in the 4 years, the cooking, the hospitality, the service, the team that's there with Andrew, Kinga, Brandon, like the way they push and take what we want and the ideas in our head and then evolve them and push them further, put them into action, refine, you know, like we eat there often in order to like really feel it as a guest and what you're experiencing. And it goes a long way. So with Jonathan though, like it was easy, you know, once we got started, it was like, I mean, a lot of chefs struggle for a long time to find their match in the dining room, right? Like to find that GM or director of operations that thrives on pressure, wants to push the dining room further, wants to push the beverage teams further, wants the experience to more so like match, you know, like we can cook our ass off, but like the things that people remember aren't always the quail. They remember the details, right? They remember the Cubans, the Ben's chili bowl run, the white truffle pizza, the shift drinks on the way out. They remember all that stuff. The stacked, you know, we have guests that come down. Yeah, you know, and like that's what JC and crew does, you know. And I think for me, like starting to see that, and that's what I say as like I evolve as an owner and a chef and just as a human, right? Cooking is never gonna not. We'll be strong cooks. We will never stop like pushing to be the best cooks. But the hospitality is what keeps the room full, because of how people feel when they leave is what brings them back, you know. But the food has to be great, of course, you know. But the hospitality, I think, is what keeps the room full. Like Jônt was so blessed, like that space just like stays full. And yeah, we cook at a high level, but man, dude, like does the dining room team take care of the people? You know, like as a guest, I feel like we never leave there wanting. You know, like that's always the goal. You should always leave there and feel like, man, if there was anything I needed, they had it, and they do that well.
It's funny. I'm thinking, who's JC? Like I halfway through, I'm like, oh, Jonathan.
Yeah, JC.
I've never heard him referred to as JC.
That's funny. Yeah.
So I was like, I was just going through the files in my head. I'm like, okay, Brandon, this. I'm like, wait, JC.
JC, yeah, Jonathan.
Got it. That's funny. I'm gonna call him JC now.
Yeah, exactly. It's easier.
Hey, JC.
Yeah.
So Bresca has, as you mentioned, 1 Michelin star. Jônt has 2 Michelin stars. You also took the Young Chef Award at the Michelin Guide ceremony in New York City last year. What would it mean for you to finally receive that coveted 3 stars for Jônt?
Yeah, like I just got goosebumps, you know? No, I think 3 stars is like, it's like a new beginning, not the end, right? I think 3 stars is a new beginning, right? And I think as chefs and cooks, we thrive for like that excellence, right? Like we're going to take care of our guests. We want to stand on the same platform as some of our peers that we've looked at. I'm 34. I've been looking up to like chefs like, you know, Thomas Keller and, you know, Daniel Boulud and those guys, you know, that are John George, Kyle Connaughton, Michael Tusk. Like they just been there. We eat at their restaurants. We cook and cook and cook and try and get to that level. And I go eat at their restaurants and taste and taste and taste. And it's like, why do they have 3 stars and we don't, right? And I constantly, that's why I go there. Like I want to see what they're doing that we're not doing because they're masters of the craft, right? And they, have been doing it for longer. Most of them have had 3 stars for like almost as long as I've been cooking, And for me, getting that
When
third.
you were being born. They were,
Yeah, exactly. They were exactly
they had
right.
French laundry ovens.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're just in the nursery.
Yeah. So it's like, for me, it's like, there's a part of it that's validation, right? For, hey, like, you're doing it. We're doing it for more reasons than just that, right? But there is this validation that, like, you've been pushing so hard that it's for some reason as a chef that it's all worth it, right? When that happens, even 2 stars, you're like,
Yeah.
it's all been worth it, So, but it's also this opportunity, like, for my team to be like, man, like, how many men and women just come and they're like, we're going to work here because we believe in it's going to get a 3rd star. And like, we believe in their mission and what they're going to do and ethos of the space and all of that. And at the end of the day, for them, it validates the career change, the move, I came from Hong Kong or I came from Scandinavia or I moved here from Canada to be here and be a part of this program. And for them, it's like, hell yeah. We knew it and we did it, and because they're the ones, right? Like we have ideas, we cook hard, we work like crazy, but like it takes all 22 of us in Jônt every single day in order to get that 3rd star, and it's validation, that the team believed in something and we set our minds to it and we did it, and I think that's like a huge thing for us, and it's also it's a new beginning, it's a responsibility, it's new opportunities. It sets the tone for like the next X years of Jônt, right? Like 3-star restaurant. Now who do we continue to evolve and become, right? Because you can then continue to elaborate on the experience more. Maybe Jônt relocates one day into a different space, like it becomes a bigger restaurant, like not in the terms of seats, but in space and opportunity, which then can continue to evolve our cooking and our hospitality and our beverage programs. All those things come after 3 stars, and opportunity. So for us, like it's like a clean slate, at that point to then like even push harder, and I think like as a guest, and as a diner myself in my own restaurants, I'm so excited to see what that is, like what's Jônt 5 years from now, like it's gonna be special for sure.
Like chefs with 3 that have been around for a long time, how they have then you launched the classics menu.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the modern menu,
and then
because now it's been a while.
Exactly, and then they're able to do like 2.0 and like look at like Franzen, like 3.0, like that location of where they're at is so immaculate. And like eating there, you're like, God damn! I hope for a fact like one day we get an opportunity to like build a restaurant like this, with Jônt, because it's so special and it's so stunning to see like what others have been able. Look at the new French Laundry like renovation, like what Thomas has been able to pull off there. It's just incredible, And I think like for me, like I mean, obviously he's been 25 more years of the French Laundry than Jônt, but still it's like it just shows that like when you do the right thing, you can just continue to grow and evolve and mature and make versions of the restaurant continuously better.
When did you decide to add to the restaurant group and specifically to begin a return to Florida? On spring break.
I think no spring breaks anymore. I think for Florida we always the market was always something intriguing to me. Like I have friends and family here. It's a cool place for us to be. The economy is great, right, during all the craziness that happened in the last 4 years, and we wanted to be a part of that growth. And so I'd say we've like always had when we talk expansion in our teams, Florida's always was like kind of our first option. Like even in like early COVID, we were like we should go to Florida, and then the reason for expansion is like certain people just hit ceilings with no growth, right? And you're either going to lose those team members or you're going to expand into places where they can continue to thrive and grow. And like head chefs that are head chefs for years become culinary directors and become corporate chefs. And it's kind of just like, you have to have those opportunities or you're going to go off and do it for somebody else, and like we put all this time and investment into people. So why not, continue to grow with those people if you can do it, and I think opportunities like the Four Seasons here with Ford Hospitality and then like this was a big one for us, and we love we love working in hotels. There's like this built-in hospitality that comes from Four Seasons that's already high, like they're really good at their jobs. That's why they're Four Seasons, and we get to work with that and then continue to elaborate on that and have guests that expect that, which I really like. Actually, I don't like when guests don't know what to expect. Like, you come to Four Seasons, you expect an amazing experience. So I love that. It's an responsibility for us. It puts pressure on us. I think, like, we're the kind of people that thrive under that pressure, and we're going to do it, So, is it thunder? I think they're putting wood away on the fire.
I'm like,
yeah, that'd be
the
crazy.
hurricane's back.
But yeah, Florida was always on it for us, and then it created opportunities for a new team. Like I said, our head chef in almost 10 years with me. Like how do you create opportunities for them to grow? He's from Florida, so he wanted to be back in Florida. So having him there is amazing for us. Like the teams have just been able to evolve. Brandon and Jônt becoming our culinary director that kind of like runs these. He's going to have like Bresca, Jônt, and Press Club underneath his stuff, and he comes down to Florida a few times a year too to like make sure these guys are in a good spot. So it's great.
In your words, describe Maass for the listeners. What is it? What can diners expect? And what are the immediate goals for it?
Yeah, so Maass to me is this opportunity to have a lot of fun as a chef. And want me to create noise?
I don't know. Long?
No. Is that fire? You hear
No,
it?
fine. Actually,
Yeah.
not so long.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't know if that's.
No, that's how it is.
I
It'll
think
be
it
off
should
in
be.
like 2 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, take a second.
But yeah, Maass is going to be like this new American style wood-fired cooking. We're roasting big hunks of like beef over the wood fire. We're cooking turbos over the wood
Tiny,
fire.
tiny.
Yeah, as
That's
they
the
build.
sound. That's
Yeah,
the sound.
as they build the fire in the back to get prep and production going. But it's this opportunity to I really like dining here as a group. Right? I think it's a lot of fun to come in here as 4 to 6 guests, sit down, order a turbo, a 20-ounce bone-in steak or short rib, and explore the menu. I think we're using a lot of Florida avocado with like South Florida lobster and doing the stuffed avocado with caviar. But yeah, Maass is just this expression of like communal dining where we can cook over this 10-foot wood fire and really, really have fun and like create this experience that's, I love the laid back, I love the chillness of South Florida, right? Like I love this idea that you can eat a really nice meal, drink some really great wines, but not feel like you need to be like pretentious or stuffy. Because in South Florida, you can I feel like we have guests that come in that probably own like a $15 million boat in their shorts and a t-shirt, buy $3,000 bottles of wine. I love that. I don't always it doesn't have to be so in your face up here, right? Like where I feel like maybe in Miami it's a little bit more in your face, but
Yeah.
being in Fort Lauderdale, it's not.
But there's
so.
a little bit of both because there's what's the word I'm looking for? There's not fight back. There's a push. There's a
Yeah.
pushback.
Yeah.
To restaurants that are too fine dining
Yeah.
in Miami.
Yeah.
It's funny. So they want to go and spend, diners want to go and spend $2,000 at Bad Bunny's restaurant. But the second you're told to put a suit on or dress nicer and have it be more formal, oh no, can't do
Yeah.
that.
I could see that though.
Right, but I think it's almost like it's an attitude thing. Like, don't tell me what I can do and I can't do. They
Yeah.
just want to throw the money around, but don't
Yeah.
tell me it's going to be quiet or anything
Gotcha.
like that.
Yeah, we're like the opposite of that.
For Lauderdale's definitely not that.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like Jônt, like you can go in there and spend $5,000 on dinner and a t-shirt and sneakers, and like have fun and listen to good music. I think that's what we do here too, like I mean, even for myself, like it's fun, like when you talk about fashion and like how you go out to eat, like you can have a t-shirt on that costs more than the next guy's suit, you know what I mean? So like you can have a sick t-shirt and sneakers on that literally is twice the price of someone's suit. So like at the end of the day, like I think there's that's what I love about Florida. There's this blend, of people who want that fine dining and throw on the suit. It's my anniversary, and then there's also people who just do this shit regularly. They're like $2,500 meal out is normal for them, and those are the people that are the most comfortable in some of these spaces, and I like that. I feel like it feels good in the restaurant to have a solid blend of that, whereas in it's a shift in fine dining for sure. Right?
What challenges have you found while opening in Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah, I think big thing like in South Florida, I guess that's been challenging for us, just like getting accustomed to like the agriculture of Florida. It's a lot different. Like we're not so much like used to we're in the Midwest, like or we're in the Mid-Atlantic. Sorry, like we're used to like Mid-Atlantic produce and really really crazy good agriculture and like raising of animals. And there's so much lamb farming. There's so much duck farming in Pennsylvania, chickens, Hudson Valley.
Just like in South Beach.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So it's like this getting used to the difference and like where we're going to bring our ingredients from has been unique for us. Like, and then also just like introducing some of the things that are here that we're not familiar with. Like, I really love this guava farmer in South Florida that Mike uses at Ariak.
Redland.
Yeah, dude, they're amazing, and like we've pulled some up here and like they let us use like the tree bark to like cook over the fire on. Like, I had no idea like a guava was in the clove family, like two completely different things. And guy's so friggin' smart, and so there's things out there that we just need to like learn how to use, you know what I mean? And I love that as a cook, like, hey, explore this, like use pink guava, use this pineapple, use like all these different like mame is something that I like never had until I came to Florida, and I think it's like the best fucking thing ever. I love it. Like I love going to like Palacio de los Jugos and like getting a mame smoothie with the sugar cane in it, I love that shit. Like they're like, how do you use that in our cooking? We're in South Florida, like let's use it, like we use Florida avocado. And then there are some really great farms like Hartkeep, like is over here, and Swank. Like there's a lot of good produce here that it's not the same produce. Like there's not as many like root vegetables and things like that because it's sand, right? But then there's a lot of good leaves and like greens and garnishes and like greenhouse growing here that like we don't have in the Mid-Atlantic, right? So, and then we work with some of our suppliers in the Mid-Atlantic to just fly things down here. So we bring our chickens from Pennsylvania from the same farm we use at Bresca and Jônt. We bring our ducks from the same, our foie gras, like our caviar comes from New York. Like, so we're just finding this blend of like using the things that we've come to expect. Because we as chefs, like we're pretty like anal about things, So
Speaking of, let me interrupt you for a second.
Speaking of anal.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Speaking of being OCD,
Like,
this is the question. This is what is it for the Patreon
only in a
followers?
South Florida.
No, it's the Patreon followers. Oh my god! And cut. No.
Yeah, exactly.
When I came to the cocktail party, with my friends, family, and you flew where to get what?
We flew to Cali just to bring spot prawns.
Physically
flew over to California
because you wanted it.
Yeah, picked up a couple cases of spot prawns to bring for that because we couldn't get them to ship.
They're like, Chef Ryan went and got it himself. I'm like, he did what? Yeah, he just got it.
He wanted them,
He wanted it, so he just flew there and got it.
Flew there and got it. Sometimes you have to be like uncompromising, right? Like certain things, and I think for us, like that is one of those.
That has nothing to do with what he said.
Yeah, right. The South, like. We want we worked for months to get like the chickens we want down here. We worked for months to get like the proper quails that we want down here, the ducks, the foie gras, like all that stuff. Like we want specific things raised a certain way, and we're super unique in a way. Like once you come to like see a certain quality, like I don't want to use anything else that's like why would I? I'm used to this. Eat a crown melon. I don't really eat another melon. It's like why not? So for us. That was a little bit of a transition, but we got there, and it's been great. Like, there's a lot of support in the area. Like, I talked to, Chef Pablo from Zitsum. I talked to Mike from area. I talked to Brad Kilgore. Those guys have helped me, like, figure out where to get shit from. Brandon, the chef of Evelyn's here, they've helped a lot. Like, everyone wants to see, like, dope shit keep happening in the area and, like, expand and grow on good cooking. And when they, like, I talk to Pablo from Zitsum all the time, and, like, he's amazing. I love their restaurant. And for me, it's like, we chat, and he'll be like, hey, what are you doing for this? And I'm like, oh, I do this, and I put this. We were just talking about Shokupan recently, because he's opening a new space, and we were talking about, like, bread on, like, text for, like, I'm like, we use aquafaba, or try this, and then I'll ask him, like, where do you get this from? And they're great, and, like, I hope maybe we'll do, like, I'll shout it out on here. We should do, like, a Zitsum Maass cooking, it's so close, people would love it. We'd have a good time. Like I love dumplings. So even try and make some
See, I
ourselves.
gave him a really hard time about taking stuff off the menu too.
Yeah, there you go, right? Like, no, they're good. Like, I love their cooking, and they're fun people, and just like genuinely like good humans, you know. So like being around like guys like that, it's fun, you know. So like, yeah, South Florida though could be challenging. It's also been really good to us, and like kind of like continuing to like create more closer friendships with guys like that.
Yeah, you're definitely in with a good group.
Yeah.
I remember when Mike was talking about doing the press.
Yeah.
That's how you guys.
Yeah, Mike would come up to Bresca
Yeah.
and like we would duck press for him to like see
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's super awesome. What I'm curious why you chose to gift what I feel like you chose to gift the Jônt concept not only to Ômo but for the upcoming project in California versus opening something different altogether. I'm like, he kind of gave it away. He gave the formula away.
Yeah, I'm obsessed, you know, like I love Jônt, like I really love the style of the restaurant. It really works for the modern market of like fine dining and cooking and in hospitality and business as well. Like we can really take care of guests. You know, everyone's gonna say the same thing, like staffing can be difficult, like even when you're paying well, expectations are high on a concept like that. So it's a small team that executes at a really high level. We get to cook and give the hospitality that we love to a small group. Like we're 150 guests a week sold out. You know, like you're not looking for a huge market. It doesn't take a monster team to handle that. You're looking for less than 20 team members usually. And for me, I don't want to say it's easier. It's not easy at all, but it's more controllable. Right, like it's you know like in a restaurant like Maass where you need like 60 employees or 60 team members, sorry, on like a Saturday night or like on schedule and you run 38 of them on a Saturday night, that's double the team. That's two teams of a Jônt Ômo, right? So we don't have to like have so much riding on like everyone showing up on all 38. You can run one A squad 5 days a week, guys and girls that want to be like the best. And push, right? Whereas in like the bigger restaurants are more challenging, you know, like you need a bigger squad, you need more commitment from your team, like people will call out, right? Like, and so you're like overstaffing, and when they all show up, your labor's fucked. Like you have less variables in a restaurant like Jônt, you know, and on top of it, you can cook food that like you're super proud of all the time, every minute, because you're never pushed to a level of like business that's unsustainable, right? Like 32 guests sold out, right? Here we can get to like 240 and you can like see the pressure hitting the kitchen and you're like trying to keep it together and you want to push and you want to make sure you're not serving something and you're kicking food back sometimes that you're like not super proud of, but then that food you're kicking back is slowing down the room and you've eaten at this counter and you see me like I'm pushing and I'm like, where are we? Why aren't we going faster? Why can't we do better? Let's go. And in the Jônt concept, it just like doesn't really happen. Like everyone's dialed in, everyone's on their shit. The ingredients are amazing all the time. The preparation is amazing because the team doesn't have to like overdo it. And in turn, it like makes you really proud. So doing them kind of at Jônt and in Ômo and then in Ode in LA, it feels really good, you know, as a chef and for hiring. It's like people want to work in those restaurants,
right?
You know, they make more than if they work in some of the other restaurants and they have to do less covers and yeah, it's amazing. So like it's becoming like for us, like it's a roadmap. We want to open them in Asia. We want to do it like one in Dubai would be a goal of ours. Like we really want to like elaborate on the Jônt experience, and then each one will be uniquely different, right? Like Florida has like Florida ingredients in there, you know, that we don't have in DC, and then California is going to have like some of the best produce in the United States on the menu, a little bit more produce driven, and you'll find in Jônt because the agriculture is not the same, you know. So it's very fun to cook in those restaurants.
I don't know if we mentioned it before, but just in case, Ômo is Ômo by Jônt in Winter Park.
Yeah, in Winter Park.
Which just opened, and I'm obsessed.
Yeah, they're cooking at such a high level. It's amazing.
Yeah. Is there anything that you think you would keep only in Jônt that you wouldn't see in the other concepts?
Honestly, like we've built this kind of like rubrics that we follow in the concepts. Like I'm sure there's going to be like specifics, like we took the buttermilk set off of Ômo. Like it's only in Jônt now, and that's probably going to stay that way. Like we've evolved the buttermilk set that we've been serving for 4 years into this like really soigné preparation that's even better than it was before. So it's only on in Jônt right now, and it'll probably stay only in Jônt. And then we moved like another course into its place in Ômo, because now that I saw the new one, I didn't really want to see the old one anymore. So like we just killed it, you know. So certain things like that will continue to stay in DC.
To me, and I've been very vocal about this, there's not a single restaurant in Fort Lauderdale that touches Maass, and not one in Orlando that touches Ômo. In fact, Ômo to me is the number one fine dining restaurant in Florida, as far as I'm
Amazing.
concerned. How are you feeling entering Michelin Guide Florida season next spring, summer? Is this something you're hopeful for?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like, you know, being in our first year in both restaurants, like we want to continue to grow and evolve and create relationships with our guests and build on that and like build the business. We're in that like climbing phase, you know, and we've seen it in both places. It's just like steadily growing as a restaurant as we're more present in the market. For sure, we want stars from Michelin. Yeah, like absolutely. I think like Maass has a great opportunity here to be a solid 1-star restaurant. It reminds me of like a lot of 1-star restaurants that I love in the country. You know, like the old Nomad back in the day. It reminds me of like Angler from this. Yeah, amazing, right? It reminds me of like Angler from the Saison team. Like they do such an amazing job. So I think this restaurant has an opportunity to be that style of like a bigger 1-star. The counter, we serve that. It's a beautiful menu. It's definitely deserving of a star. And then at Ômo, you know, I think because we opened Jônt and debut with 2 stars, you know, we want to be in the guide period, you know, like we would love to debut with 2 stars, but we're cooking at a 2-star level 100%. Like I go in there and I'm very proud of what we're doing there. We create dishes that are totally like 2 stars and detailed, and the progression of that menu is just fabulous. The quality of the ingredients is super high. It's a clear expression of me as a cook, right? Like when you eat that food, you know it's my cooking, you know. And I think, yeah, it's a beautiful place. Like if it goes to 1, like then we'll just have 1 there and continue to push for 2. You know, I think it can be an evolution. It's not like I won't feel like let down by it at all, you know, but I definitely think like the teams are cooking at a level that's deserving of like 1 and 2 stars for sure.
I think it's time for another 2. Robuchon has been sitting pretty for 3 years.
Yeah, we need to
And for some company.
Hit it for Florida, you know.
What motivates you daily?
Yeah, I think people, you know, I think our guests motivate me, the team motivates me immensely, like working around talented people, culinary directors, Brendan, Ian, Brandon, being around dining room team like Jonathan Cano, Andrew, JC, Andrew, Kinga, Gino, you know, Tracy at Ômo, like those getting out and like being there, not letting my team down and pushing myself to be the best version of me as a leader, as a chef. My business partners are amazing. This team is like become like my brother, you know, and I wake up every day, I want to be there to like push our business further, because that's like his thing, right? Like the business side, and how do I elaborate on that with him? So just the people we happen to surround ourselves with, right, have been amazing, you know. And of course, you know, like I want to do cool things for my family and like have fun and all of that. So like I wake up every day, I'm very motivated outside of just like I love to cook, right? But I'm motivated by other things too, you know, just like being a strong leader for my nieces and nephews, like a strong presence for my nieces and nephews to see that, like, you know, I'm from pretty rural Ohio. There's not like a ton going on there. I'm the first person in my family to go to a university. Like, you know, like get out, like show them that they can do dope shit and like have there's more to it, you know, and like explore and take them places, and like taking my mom to Paris in the spring, like that only comes from like hard work, you know what I mean? Like you work hard, like you wanna like earn enough to like do cool shit, you know what I mean, and have a really good time doing it, take care of the team. Like we're taking some team back to Japan in January again. Like you don't get to do those things if you're not like grinding every day. You know, I think a lot of people want to be like entitled to like, oh, I should be getting this. Like you need to wake up and get it. Like you get to go get it, you know? For me, that's what motivates me every day. I want to wake up and want to go get it, right? Like we're a 0-star restaurant at Maass, we're a 0-star restaurant at Ômo. I want to go get 1 star, I want to go get 2 stars. Like we're going to wake up every day and try and prove that we deserve to like stand on that platform with, you know, everyone that we've always respected. And yeah, we have a team around us to do it. So it's exciting.
Hope so. We'll be there cheering you on. I hope, if I get invited. Oops.
You'll be invited.
Just in case. What are your restaurant pet peeves when dining out?
So, being asked if you like something a lot, like, drives me nuts. You know, and are you liking that? Are you enjoying that? I'm like, I'll let you know if I'm not. Like, we're good. We're having fun. You know what I mean? Like, and then I don't know. Like, if I'm sitting in front of an open kitchen, like, I want to see like I don't know, like things that we always harp on, like fold your towels. You know, like if the towels are dirty and the guests can see them, fold new ones, put new ones out. Right? Scrub your range, scrape it. You know, make it shiny. Like you have a Maltini, keep it nice. You know, like it's a pleasure or it's like a privilege to work on a Maltini. Like scrape that shit, like make it look good. You know, and yeah, I think like I'm pretty chill though when I go out. Like I'm aware, but like
Right.
I'm not needy. Like if
Right.
I'm being taken care of,
Right.
I feel lucky to be being taken care of and not
Yeah,
working.
not
So
high maintenance.
yeah, I'm not. Like I'll eat anything. Like you're like, oh, grilled cheese is the special. Give me one. Like I'll eat it. Like I'm pretty chill, so it's fun.
And what is something guests do that you just like?
Like yes,
Or like annoys you or gets to you?
I don't know actually. Like I'm pretty thankful for like I feel like a lot of times I'm pretty thankful for like the support that we get from like all the communities that we're surrounded by. So at the end of the day, like if people are needy, I feel like we're there to take care of them. So like I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? I know it can be like a little like sometimes it's like HWC, like handle with care, you know. And I'm like we just pour it on even more. Like when people are handled with care, we like pour on the kindness, pour on the hospitality, pour on the love to make sure that like we can take care of them, you know. But yeah, overall, like I couldn't think of one thing off the top of my head that like drives me nuts, you know. I'll have to think about it. Maybe by the end.
All right.
Yeah.
Is there a place? No. Where do you love to dine when you're in South Florida? Besides Ariad.
People are gonna hate. You put it as number one. I love Surf Club Restaurant.
Yay!
I've been to Surf Club maybe like a dozen times. So like Surf Club Restaurant to me cooks at such a high level, very simple, focused food that I think they execute really, really well. And I've never had a bad meal there. I love it. I've only had amazing meals there. I've seen the chef there multiple times. Like the care they put into the dining room is amazing. I love the space. The design is amazing. Just feels good. Like I love that like continental or like steakhouse experience, you know, because like I dig into like very detailed food every day. So go there, order some Elysian Fields lamb or some Dover sole, Wellington for two. I love that shit, you know, and they always take great care of us and it's fun. So like it's by far been my most frequented restaurant in South Florida. Of course, I love like Zitsum, Ariad, and like all those kind of like restaurants over there. I really love this place in Fort Lauderdale called Larb Thai. It's freaking awesome. Like I go eat like crispy duck salad over there and like noodles, and it's amazing as well. They do a really nice job. I haven't been to like Casa D'Angelo. I haven't been. Okay, yeah, but I love.
It's old school Italian.
Yeah, I love a red sauce joint though too. So like
It's
I
actually
go.
not. So Cafe Vico across the street
Okay.
is more of a red sauce.
Okay, I didn't
But
know.
it's a little more upscale red sauce. But Casa D'Angelo's more fine-tuned Italian.
Okay.
Italian, but
It's one that I want to check out.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
yeah.
I will.
but don't expect like
Gotcha. Yeah, but like, and then Miami. I go to Miami a lot just to like. I haven't been to a lot of the sushi on the Casas yet. Like, I want to go, and I want to check out. You were just there in West Palm Beach.
Conroe.
Conroe, exactly.
He's very good.
He's dined in here. Him and his wife are amazing people. They've had a few meals here. Yeah, so like I want to go up there and check them out too. They seem to
Just
just
went a couple weeks ago.
yeah, it looks amazing. So yeah, I want to check that out. So we're still a lot of times we get chefs we get like stuck like in our own kitchens, and like we don't get out too much. But I need to get out a little bit more and like we will. But like every time I come, I try something. So it's been fun.
And thank you, Brenda, for introducing me to Zits.
Yeah, you did exactly. You were the one. You sent us there, and
So
then like
great.
we did the collab in Bresca, and
And
yeah,
it's so
they're
funny
amazing.
because he messaged me like a week later. I said, hey, thanks for sending Ryan. And I'm thinking at that point in time, I was talking, there's like 3 industry Ryans, right?
Okay,
I'm thinking,
yeah.
and I just completely forgot that I had mentioned that. And I'm like, Ryan, which Ryan? And then he's like, Ryan Ratino. I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
And
and I've
then,
been I've been a handful of times now, and we've had him up to DC. Like it's been fun.
yeah,
He's great.
oh, he's so
Yeah.
good. It's so
He's gonna owe
good.
us like a meal after all the shout outs.
I know,
Podcast,
seriously.
You know what I mean?
Seriously,
Yeah.
Pablo. Tell me about your upcoming projects, the bar, and your new West Coast adventures.
Yeah, so in DC we have Press Club opening with Will Patton. He's been our beverage director for like he's been with the company for like 6.5 years. Been a beverage director for a couple years now. He runs all the bev programs throughout. So the Press Club is going to be his jaunt, place to like geek out on cocktails, have a really good time. We're doing like nostalgic bites and tempuras in there and things like that. So you're gonna be able to eat some really doing like a bloomin' onion caviar service. We're doing some like Wagyu katsu sandwiches. We're doing soft serve. We're just making like really good bar bites, and then he's gonna just have a lot of fun with the cocktail program. We have about like 28 seats inside, so it's not super big. It should be a lot of fun. So that's been in the works for a while with Will. He's always been super loyal to the team and really dependable. So we always wanted to do something with him. Essentially, like our first time seating somebody in a new project, not so much like focused on myself, right? Like so it's all focused on Will. So exactly. So we're super excited about that. And then West Coast, we have Ode and Orion. So Ode being just like Jaunt in Cali, and then Orion being a more casual environment, kind of like Maass here. Cooking like tons of like coastal California, like seafood and produce, clean fare, like clean eating, really like strong cooking though, like lots of tableside interaction, fucking stunning dining that our design team created. It looks so amazing. And then our culinary director there, Ian Scaramuzza, he's on the West Coast. He's here right now in Maass back there. He's a Scottish guy that everyone's scared of. But he's a talent. He's come from so many amazing programs, so he's going to be running the show out there for us. And he's a straight. He's going to earn all the things. He's amazing. Like he has this like sights set high, lofty things that he wants to accomplish. So he's amazing. And between the two of us, like there's a really good the culinary mind. We have so many dishes and menu items built out. It's incredible. So. Yeah, Orion being more of like that environment where you can go as a group, eat, drink really well, like tons of champagnes and lots of crudos and raw fish coming from California coast, spot prawns, spider crab, brown crabs, red king crabs, like all that stuff coming from up there, oysters coming from further north, and then like really good like produce program like Santa Monica Farmers Market. He lives next door to it, so he can go there every week and just like get huge hauls and lots of fruits and veggies and herbs, things like that. It'll be really beautiful cooking, but like in a way that feels really approachable in Orion.
Awesome. Will you be taking a breather after opening all of these concepts?
Yeah, and next year we're gonna take a break. Like we're just gonna open and have some fun. Like I'm going to Japan in like 3 weeks for 10 days. That's kind of like my recovery place.
Take me.
Yeah, right. You should come. I go to Japan to kind of like heal mentally and physically, take a break and like eat and be inspired. And every time I come back from there, like I run a lot when I'm there in the mountains and hang out and just really have a good time. Like I love like exploring Tokyo and Kyoto and North and Iwate and yeah, we have made a lot of friends there now. So like we're able to go hang out, just chill. Like it feels like it's like my place. How everyone's got that place that's like good for them. That's my place. So feels good. And like I'm doing that next month and then again in January. Then we'll get these restaurants open next year. And we'll just continue to like focus on building what we have and kind of like exploring like the evolution of the teams and growing the hospitality and all of that. But it's been a lot of fun and we won't stop. We have already the first quarter of next year, the events are building out. We're doing collabs and pop-ups in different countries and cooking in Japan, cooking in the Bahamas, cooking at Blackberry Farm, cooking, like we have so many fun things coming, so.
I have that as a goal, Blackberry Farm.
Oh, we're doing a dinner there in March, you should come. Yeah,
Yes,
we're
please
doing,
send me
yeah, I will,
info.
we're doing a dinner there in March, with Chef Cassidy, she's amazing. She was just in DC doing a dinner with the Dabney, and so we're cooking there at the end of it's like the third week of March. I'll give you the exact dates, but I've always wanted to cook there. I've been telling her. We did a Krug
I've been
ambassade.
following for years, and Larry and I keep checking dates.
Yeah,
Things available.
we did a Krug ambassade, like voyage to Naples a couple of years ago. We're on the same trip, and I was like, yo, I want to cook with you guys. Like, we need to make this shit happen. And then they were doing an event with like a wine society, and our name popped up, and she was like, do it with them. Like, so we're excited to go over there and cook, and hopefully I'll do some fly fishing while I'm there and have a lot of fun at Blackberry Farm. What an amazing property, like stunning.
Yeah.
The wine cellar is like,
Yeah, I get on all the wineyards too. They do like really,
it's
really cool
amazing.
stuff
Yeah, so
there.
they're cool. But I can send you some dates, and we'll hold some seats for sure for our guests, so we
Okay.
can try and make sure you get in there. It'll be fun.
Awesome. What is there anything? No, scratch that. What is the plan to make sure quality does not suffer by growing the hospitality industry?
Yeah, I think for us, it's the team, right? Like having in the culinary side, like Ian, Brandon, Brendan, Michael, like our culinary like leadership team is really, really strong. Like I would put it up against anybody's in the world right now. Like you just have like guys that have been through, and also like guys and girls, right? Like we have Ian, Brendan, Yoon Jung, Michael, David here, like Tyler came from Everett, John, Kyle who's been with us for years. Like if you name it, like our team has been stacked with like 2- and 3-star Michelin chef de cuisines and sous chefs. So for us, there's like, and I'm like obsessive, so I'm so heavily involved. Like, you know, my partners get on me, they're like, you need like get on this for the business or do that for the business, but I've spent so much time cooking still. Like I don't stop cooking. Like when service is on, I'm cooking. You see me in service, like I don't stop. And I think that's a big thing. Like I'll never be the CEO of Hive Hospitality. That's not my goal. That's not who I am. That's not why I got into this business, right? Like I cook. I love cooking and I love talking to people, and I'm like in the space. Like when if I became the CEO of the company, I end up not cooking. I end up on a computer, and that's not what got us to where we're at. So I'm going to continue to cook. I'm going to continue to nurture and train and build strong sous chefs who become strong chef de cuisines, and then chef de cuisines who become strong like regional leaders in the company. And that's why humbly, like the food still tastes good. You know, like we have good food and good discipline in our kitchens because we're still cooking every day, and then the culinary leadership that we have is unmatched. Like they're amazing people, and like they don't stop. They all want to cook every day. They all want to think about fall and spring, right? We're constantly like pushing for the seasons and doing R&D and building new dishes. And then what's been great is like we create 20 new things in each restaurant every season and record it. Now all the other restaurants have access to that, and we can just continue to like grow and evolve because the teams are great, and they're creating amazing dishes. And now we can start to plot and play in different restaurants. When we don't use them, we use it in Maass, we can use it in Bresca, we can use it in Orion, we use it in Ômo, we can then use some of that in Jônt. Ômo really benefits from 4 years of Jônt recipes.
Yeah.
So we bring a lot of dishes from Jônt down to Ômo because we can, and we know they're great, you know. And
What is that right now that I'm smelling? It smells so good.
yeah,
I feel like it's bread.
it is bread.
It's
Yeah,
bread, right?
they're baking. Yeah, exactly. You could smell it.
I mean,
Smells
you're like,
good.
oh, I'm not
I
gonna
know.
stop cooking, and I'm like,
They just opened the oven.
Oh
you
my
know?
God.
Exactly. It smells amazing, right? But like that's the thing. I think a lot of times like hospitality, you know, I really like respect is like Michael Nino. He's like really done a great job. Like I love eating at Bourbon Steak. Like I fucking love it.
It's
Like,
solid.
yeah, I went in Nashville. I've been in Vegas. I've been in DC. I've been down here in Turnberry Isle. It always is
They're
fucking
opening a
so
new one in
amazing.
Aventura. Sorry, not Aventura, in Boca.
Oh, really? Yeah. It's amazing. Like, it's always good. And it's like, he's done it so well for so long. And I know guys that have worked for their team, right? And like, they just crush, you know? And I think it's because like, he still cooks. You know, like all these restaurants later, he's still touching food. He's still cooking, you know? And I think like, that's amazing, you know? Like, and I think that's what like, you go to French Laundry, Thomas is in the kitchen, you know? And it's like, why is it good? Because like, Thomas still touches food, you know? And I think like, the people who don't lose sight of that are the people who are successful, you know? When you trade the code in for the keyboards, then I think you start to like lose quality control.
Or the ego.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so for me, I never want to stop cooking, and that's where I think I will continue to grow.
I think you're onto something there. Is there anything I haven't yet covered that you would like listeners to know?
I don't know. I think like we hit all the new restaurants. You know, like you know, we wanna do some restaurants in in Asia. So if anyone who listens, like own some hotels in Asia, we would love to open a Jônt in Tokyo or Singapore. But like, no, we want to have fun, like continue to cook, build culture in our team, right? Like just we always like. If anyone that listens wants to do a collab with us, you should let us know because we're always open to collabs and want to cook at fun places and meet new friends. And especially in South Florida, like we're growing, we're learning, we're being introduced to more of our peers. So I would love to like meet more chefs and like hang out and have fun. And if you want to do some events at Maass, come cook at the counter, or do some events in Miami. Like we're so open to it. I think it's fun. So yeah,
That's great. Love that. Ryan, thank you so much for chatting with me today.
of course, thank you. Yeah,
I am looking forward to celebrating with you, hopefully,
yes,
in New York or Chicago or wherever the next ceremony is, and then back in Miami, where I will be crossing my fingers to that the stars align for you. Well deserved. As always, thank you, the listener, for tuning in. If you have a second, please rate and review the podcast anywhere you listen. And until next time, ciao.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah, we did
Thank you.
it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
See, 117. We did it.
We did it. That was great. Thank you.
Good job, everyone.
I think so.
Yeah.
I could talk all day.